Damn. Episode 10, my brother.
This is it.
Season 1.
I respect that.
We're wrapping it up.
It's been a good run.
Let's get it going.
Let's go.
Yes, indeed. This is episode number 10 of the first season of Small Talk with Compa. My brother, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. Hey, shout out to all my gente out there, you know. Thank you, man, for all your support. Can't believe it, man. Episode 10.
Episode number 10, man.
I
We
like
did
that.
it. That's good, right?
It's very good, you know.
It's we're easing in. We feel a little more flow now.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I feel so much comfortable.
Yeah.
So much of a learning experience.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I mean, we've tried so much like throughout this past 10 episodes in terms of audio and finding the right place to sit and yada yada. But I think we're doing it now.
Lessons. There's a lessons that we need to learn, and we're doing it an episode at a time.
Yeah, for sure. And then season 2, we don't have a date yet, but we have some surprises.
Oh, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, we're gonna have just some surprises.
Yeah.
And we'll tease them throughout on our Instagram and all the social media platforms that my compadre over here manages.
Yeah.
Great job, by the way.
I try.
You're a good man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
All right.
that.
So we're gonna get started. Last week we did so basically the last 2 episodes we were interviewing ourselves. This podcast is a conversation. In the future we're gonna bring fellow friends, entrepreneurs, business owners, et cetera, family members to come chat with us because that's what this podcast is about. And what better way to do it than with us too? I did mine last episode, and my compadre is doing it this week.
Exciting. Can't wait. I think that is a great way to kind of start off. It's a great way to finish off the season and then, jumping into season 2. And like you said, we have so many surprises and so many people coming into the podcast. I don't want to say a lot, but it should be a good ride.
Yeah, the numbers have been looking good.
Yeah.
We need a few more numbers to hit a certain target that we want to hit, but I think that should happen in the next couple of days or 2.
Absolutely. And
Awesome.
please, look out for our social media platforms. We're going to be more engaged in throwing out a lot of content and making sure that you guys are pretty much informed of what's going on.
Cool. So let's just dive right into it, my brother. So
Let's do this.
talk to me. I know that you've mentioned in the past, you've told us in the past, you're from Brooklyn.
Correct.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
Respect. Yes.
Uh,
Borough Park. Let's go.
I know
Sunset.
we have Brooklyn listeners out there, from what I've been told, which is much love to y'all.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your grow up, your childhood. How was that?
Yeah, man. I mean, just like every other Mexican family, we grew up in the Bronx. Maybe through Singueño family.
Wait, you grew up in the Bronx?
Not grew up. I started in the Bronx.
So you were born in the Bronx?
Yeah. No, born in Metropolitan Hospital, which is in the city around 90th Street.
Okay.
All right. So I was born there, but then moved to the Bronx, and I was there for like 9 years.
No wonder you're a Yankee fan.
I guess, yeah. Mostly because, my grandparents used to take me to that park that was close to the stadium.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
And
Nice.
then, the tickets out there were kind of cheap. And so,
Yeah.
my father used to also play soccer there. So it was easy for us to just go to Yankee Stadium.
Nice.
But growing up in the Bronx was really like a learning experience. A lot of, things going on there. But I like the vibe, a lot of people out there just like vibing. A lot of cultures. Mostly was Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. And
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
How was the the communities amongst each other?
It was mostly Hispanics. I mean, everybody kind of like look out for each other, or at least for their own kind of culture, people.
Mhm.
But again, like everything else, like in every neighborhood, you have your bad apples.
Right.
So the Bronx was pretty hard to live in.
Definitely,
in the beginning,
yeah.
and especially at that time. And there was a lot of criminal activity.
Yeah. Was that like
going
the 90s or mid 80s?
80s,
80s, late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s. Yeah,
Wow.
man, I was there for like
How
the
long?
80s. From 1983 to like 1990, I want to say 1.
Oh wow, you were there for a minute.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Cool.
And like I said, for the most part, yeah, there were some bad apples, but I had a great time there. I used to both of my parents used to work like a lot of hours, so there was a babysitter that lives downstairs
Okay.
where I used to live in,
Yeah.
and her name is Angie. Shout out, by the way. She was great to me.
MJ.
Great to like my family and just a great babysitter. Which is hard to find because nowadays you just don't know.
Yeah.
So had a great experience there. That's kind of like where I was introduced to like the Dominican food
Oof.
because like at an early age I
Yeah.
used to just like Dominican food. It was just amazing. Los pastelitos with like beef and queso
And chicken, all
and
that
chicken.
stuff.
Oh
yeah.
my god, it was just the best. And just like mofongo. Ooh.
Yeah. No, man, Dominican
the
have some
food.
good food.
Yeah, man.
It's up there for me. I eat Dominican food a lot. And you know what? Jumping off topic,
Yeah, go ahead.
just want to pay my respects and my thoughts and prayers go out to all our Dominican brothers and sisters that
That's right. Yeah.
suffered that tragedy in a nightclub.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dominican food is great.
Yeah, man. It's amazing. I mean, the food is great. The people are even greater.
Yeah.
And shout out to like all of her family because they all were part of like my upbringing.
Yeah.
So growing up in the Bronx was just as usual. Go to school, come back. To the household. I used to live in a building where like two buildings were connected.
Was it loud?
We're very loud. You had that typical music, loud as hell. They're barbecuing, and then you have
yeah.
grown ass men playing dominoes.
That's the way, man.
That's the way it
It's
is.
the New York way.
Which I like.
Amazing. I
was
love
that-
it.
It was that vibe. You're playing downstairs, and then every mom in the freaking building is calling out their sons to get up there to eat.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh shit. We
Hell
have to
yeah.
like go and eat fast, and then come out before the sun comes down.
Fuck yeah.
So it was just those like great childhood memories. And then, going in the weekend, I used to go to my father's practices and games
Uh-huh.
because he used to play soccer. And then that's kind of like how I got introduced to the to playing baseball.
Wow.
So
Wait,
that's
did you join a team? out
My
there in the
grandfather
Bronx?
put me in a baseball team. I wasn't sure it was my grandfather or my dad. I'm not so sure which one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Little League.
Ah.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you guys win any championships? Or
Nah,
no?
we were horrible.
Really?
But
Yeah, it was fun though.
I still remember
Yeah.
a couple. I don't remember like the game and the actual like the whole entire experience. But there's like clips that I remember when I caught my first ball. Like I was in center field and I saw the ball coming to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
The only thing I did was that I knew that ball was gonna go over me.
Yeah.
And so I had the speed to try to get it. And all I did was just jump and just like
Did you make the catch?
pray Hail Mary and I caught it.
Hell yeah.
That
Nice.
was one of my highlights.
That's awesome.
That was one of my highlights. man.
So, when did you move to Brooklyn and why?
I think we moved to Brooklyn because, again, this is when I was 9 years old. So I
Yeah.
don't have the whole info. But, with everything, with the conversation that I had with my mother, was that they moved because they had a better opportunity in Brooklyn. They had
Sure.
they had a bigger apartment,
Nice.
bigger space, and they felt like getting out of the Bronx would be a better
Mhm.
lifestyle for me.
Yeah.
That's what my mom told me.
Yeah.
So we went to Brooklyn, and we were also going to be closer to the my mother's side of the family because
Ah.
all of them were over there.
And your mother's side of the family is from
Chinantla,
Chinantla.
Chinantla, Puebla.
Ah,
Shout out, baby.
word.
You already know.
Definitely. Nice. And then, do you have any core memories from Brooklyn that you really can remember?
The Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
I saw the first time that we went to Brooklyn, my dad's like took me out to the Brooklyn Bridge, and he kind of showed me like the skyscraper,
Yeah.
the skyscrapers,
Yeah.
and I fell in love with that bridge, man. For some reason, it was just
Yo,
a nice day.
That bridge, I agree, man. That bridge,
Yeah.
every time I drive through it, it's really iconic, man. That
It
bridge
really is.
It's a beautiful bridge.
Yeah,
And dozens and thousands of people walk through
Mhm.
that bridge on a daily basis. Like,
yeah, man.
fucking-
That bridge is amazing. Jumping off topic, man. I took my wife. That was our first date.
Really?
Yeah, we walked to
Nice.
the Brooklyn Bridge, and I took her to Juniors after.
Ah, I
That's
worked in juniors.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
That was one of my first jobs.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got some like some chocolate cake. I got some coffee, and
You didn't get their cheesecake?
Nah, I got the cheesecake strawberry.
Cheesecake? Strawberry. Hell yeah, that's the way to do it. Or the strawberry shortcake.
That's
for,
right.
For those of y'all.
Wait a minute. I think that's what I got. The shortcake.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
because they were out of the cheesecake. We went mad late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those of y'all out there, make sure y'all go to Junior's and try the cheesecake. Although it's a little sweeter now, but definitely the strawberry shortcake.
For real.
Phenomenal.
It's phenomenal, man.
So then you moved to Brooklyn.
Correct. I moved to Brooklyn. Again, for it's just better opportunity
for the family.
And
Very
everything.
Cool.
And that's when I met my other side of the family. My cousins were a lot.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like the same. We were in the same age.
Okay.
So it was really good for me because at that time I was the only child.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have any brothers and sisters. You know? So for me, it was more like, it felt like I had like a brother figure.
Beautiful.
And then I had also my other cousin, which was like 2 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I could be that kind of like brother figure to him.
Yeah.
And it was great. Shout out to them. We were really close.
Yeah. You also have a brother too, right? You weren't an only child growing up.
No. After that, yeah. Well, after we went to Brooklyn, a few years after, my brother was born in 94?
Oh, he's from Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, he's definitely from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very nice.
Actually, no. He was born in the city, but he was raised in Brooklyn.
Okay. So he was never in the Bronx.
Yeah, the Brooklyn, my sister. She was born in Lincoln Hospital.
Nice.
She's Brooklyn.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So then where'd you go to school?
I went to I first started in IS 230 in Brooklyn. It's around Borough Park.
Okay.
For people in Brooklyn that know, is in Albemarle Road, I believe, in Cortelio.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of was there only for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because then I moved to junior high school.
Yeah.
I think it was IS 88.
Yeah.
That was mad hood.
I was gonna ask, were you a rebel? Were you a shy boy, or were you more of like outgoing, kind of getting along with everybody?
Shy boy.
Were you
very shy?
You didn't get a.
I didn't get. I was kind of like a loner in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't.
In both schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just that I was very insecure about myself.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, people that don't know me, I was born with like, so like on my right side, I didn't have any hair.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, partial.
Got it.
Through the years, I went to plastic surgery and I got a couple of things going there to kind of look like it, but for the most part, yeah. So insecurity was a really big factor for me growing up in school. And yeah, I didn't have a lot of friends until in junior high school. I met my first friend, which was his name was Jose. I think he was like Puerto Rican. No, I think he was Honduran.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get back at you on that, but
yeah.
Jose, he was kind of like my first friend. Kind of protecting me, and like people used to bully me, and he was always kind of like encouraging. He was actually one of the first people that kind of made me like believe in myself. Because you don't feel like you're incapable of like fighting back. Yeah. So he was kind of like the first influence for me to kind of say, hey, yo.
Jose?
Yeah, Jose Fernandez. Shout out to Jose, man. He's still my boy,
Nice.
Yeah, man. I remember one time, I'll tell you a story. I was walking back home from school, and these couple of kids, older than me, I think they were in high school at the time. They robbed my chain. I had like a chain, and it was my father's chain. So it wasn't even like mine. Yeah, I just took it because I wanted to look cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And back in those days, people that had chains were like, oh, this guy's, whatever. But I just wanted to do it for the fashion. And they took it. And I remember, telling Jose, like, hey, man, they took my chain. And I was just like scared to go home because I felt like I would have to tell my dad and about to get a whooping or something. Even though my dad never hit me, but still, like, in that time,
yeah, I mean, you took it. Did you ask permission? No, you didn't, right?
I didn't.
So of course, you would be scared.
Scared. Anyway, Jose, man, out of nowhere, was like, yo, we're going. Yo, we went around, like, the neighborhood, and we actually spotted them, and he called the cops. And we were actually with the cops, and he spotted the guys that took the chain. And believe it or not, we got it back.
Yeah.
From the cops.
Nice.
Because those guys I think they took their shirts off because I kind of like explained what shirts they had on,
Yeah.
but they were smart enough to take it off. They had a tank top on, but I really knew it's their faces, and we pointed at them, and the cops were kind enough to get the chain back. But it was a really the experience was pretty bad because I was so scared when they robbed me.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna really kick my ass.
Yeah,
but I was lucky, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean those I've definitely experienced a few of those where somebody tried to take something from you. Especially
man.
at least for me, I had a one encounter when I was in early junior high. They
Mhm.
tried to take a chain that my mom got me.
Yeah.
No, but they hit me. It was me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mentioned in the previous episode a baseball player, a teammate of mine. They jumped us. They beat the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Telling
know.
you, man.
Anyway, but that's part of the teenage life. That's what
Yeah.
we kind of at least here in New York, we grow up with seeing all that stuff, or at least go through it at some point in your life,
For
right?
real. Yeah. I was a shy boy. I was like that type of like,
And
I get picked on.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And were you into? Obviously, you were into any movies or music as you were growing up.
No, none of that.
None of
I didn't have no music influences or any like things of that nature. My thing was baseball. My thing was like athleticism.
That's awesome. Love it.
I used to love sports. I used to play anything. If I didn't know it, I'll learn it.
Yeah.
So I know how to play basketball, baseball, like all the kind of sports. I guess because for the most part, my cousins were there, and we were able to like share those moments.
Sure.
So we had already a team. Like we were a lot of cousins, so we were just like we were able to play. We used to go to the elementary school that I just mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to play baseball all the time.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if we had. We used to play baseball with like metal bats and like the blue ball. Remember we used to play handball? with?
handball ball? Yeah.
We don't care. But now,
That's awesome.
but now, if you think about it, like why we became better hitters is because like the ball was really small.
Yeah, you couldn't see it.
You couldn't see it, so
Right.
it was like, we had nothing to play with.
That's awesome.
So it was a fun time. But yeah, for me it was just sports.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ever run into any trouble growing up?
A lot.
Like, was this after junior high into high school, or talk to me about that? How was that
It all started in high school.
in high school? Okay.
Yeah, man. First year,
Always starts in high
it
school.
always starts in high school. The first year, I mean, I was doing pretty good. But then bad influences came about.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, the gang life was really like proactive there.
In Brooklyn, especially, right? The
Brooklyn.
Mexican gang
Yeah.
members were definitely heavy out there.
They were really heavy out there, and I just felt like at the time, my household, we were going to a lot of like trouble.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were like getting a divorce, or they just got separated. My mother had to like work long hours.
Mhm.
So I was, we just had like my brother, and he was just like a year or two. So it was really hard because I had to be kind of like the man of the house in a sense.
Yeah.
And my mother was just like depending on me. But at the same time, like I was, at that age, you're looking for like someone to like,
To guide you and
to
shit.
guide me and shit,
Right.
man. Nobody was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that my dad wasn't doing it, but my dad had to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
So you were more of that guy to your siblings,
to my
right?
siblings, man. But without even noticing, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? It wasn't
Yeah.
like I was like, hey, man, I'm gonna be the man of the house.
Yeah, it just happened.
It just happened, bro.
Yeah.
It just things you got to do it. But at the same time, I was looking for that love, and I got it from the gang. You know what I mean? I got it from from being in that type of life, because what people see in gangs, and with and obviously with respect, I do understand. It's all negative. Obviously, you do things that you shouldn't be doing. There's a lot of criminal activity, but what you don't see is the unity.
Yeah.
The brotherhood,
Yeah.
the constant reminder that we're here for you.
Yeah.
That that thing where you think that that you are seeking in a family.
Yeah.
I seek to there.
A lot of youth, as
Right.
we've seen and grown up through it, like
Yeah.
that's where they go to.
Mhm.
At least in our neighborhoods, they kind of get pulled.
Correct.
You're here. We're here for you.
Yeah.
You're our family now. But
Yeah, that's how kind of like recruiting
right.
goes in a gang.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. They
Yeah.
see things. They see, oh, this guy's needs us.
Mhm.
Or sometimes we recruited things. We recruited people like just like getting picked on.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man, if you with us,
You won't get picked
it
on.
ain't gonna happen again.
Yeah. It's less than some jail shit.
I'm telling you, but that's
Yeah.
how it was.
No,
it
I
was,
know,
It was
for
for me.
sure.
It was like
Yeah.
that. It was like, yo, and then obviously it was easier for me because my cousin was in it.
Yeah.
So my cousin was like, yo, you down? Like my cousin never was the was never telling me to come in,
Mm-hmm.
but he was always saying like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it because you want to, not because
Yeah.
I'm bringing you into this. And I did it. And mhm.
Go ahead.
No, I
And
went in.
did you feel like that? You know how they preach that they're family and they're gonna stick with you
Yeah.
for whatever.
Yeah,
Did you feel that from them though?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I felt it in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then obviously towards the end, because through the years, you become a family because you had experienced things together.
Yeah.
Not all it's positive.
Right.
A lot of it's negative.
A lot of it is negative.
We lost people, so like you lose a family member.
Mm-hmm.
We did things that we should have not done, but it had to be done.
Right.
But we did it together, and we help each other when we needed to.
Yeah.
So I think all that comes into play. We're like, hey, this is like, I got your back, you got my back.
Yeah.
Now, can you look at him in the eye and it's like, hey, do I give my life for you? Let's be honest, I don't think so.
Right.
Right? It's not like
I mean, a lot of times they won't
Yeah.
probably do it.
I won't look at my friend in the eye and be like, hey, I give my life to you if something would have happened, right? It has to be somebody really special, right?
Mhm.
But I will say it to my daughter.
Right.
I will give my life for my
Oh,
daughter.
for sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
100%.
it's a difference, right?
Yeah, es otro
Otro pedo.
nivel, yeah, otro pedo.
But you got the people that really do it.
And when did you? So, what kind of trouble did you run into? You said
There were so many activities.
did you ever get arrested or
I got arrested for
just got arrested? You don't have to.
oh yeah. Well, I got arrested.
Yeah.
But I share your story. One that really kind of like put me in a position where like, hey, you got to really think about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just high school days. And this is not me being arrested. This is me just, I feel like someone loves me upstairs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was a story about someone that we actually, you know what?
You don't have to share.
I don't have to share.
Okay.
Yeah. This is really deep.
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
sense.
we
Yeah, it was really
So-
deep, and it's kind of like
We can.
It can
we
move
can
on,
pay.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, my bad
Uh,
about that. But
oh,
yeah,
good.
I got arrested.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, this is all during your teenage life, teenage years.
Yeah,
right? Did
teenage
you-
life. Mhm.
Were you employed during the teenage life?
Oh no,
You weren't-
no. I was always.
What was your
cutting-
first job?
Jesus, my first job kind of was after high school. And I was, I think, 18 years old. My first job was Foot Locker right there.
Oh, okay.
In Stanway Street.
Ah,
Yeah, Astoria.
nice. That was
Yeah.
your. Yep.
Because the manager used to go to my father's restaurant.
Okay.
Well, my father's where he used to work.
Okay. So
Mhm.
so I met you obviously later on in life.
Correct.
Did you move to Astoria like as an adult or were you still a teenager with your family?
No, so my father used to work in Queens, but we still live in Brooklyn.
Still lived in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I used to make that trip,
Got it.
but then eventually we moved into Queens.
Yeah.
And that was on my adult years already.
Yeah.
But I was still kind of like living with my father and my mother because, again, we still had two siblings. Now here, my sister's already born,
Yeah.
and my father was kind of like struggling, and so like I was already working,
Okay.
and so I was just like helping and providing, and so like that's kind of like the way my life was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just that, it was me, my mom, and dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I actually got a story for about us. Which
Really?
It's I think you know about it. I think I mentioned it to you. So
Okay.
Will has a cousin. You have a cousin.
Correct. I got a lot of them.
You have a lot of cousins. And my cousin
Yeah.
were actually dating
Really?
way back when. I don't want to say any names.
Yeah. We tell you later.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
And but point is, like, I had a cousin that was dating your cousin,
Mhm.
and then we ended up being friends with each other, which
Correct.
is crazy.
It's crazy. Another
Crazy
crazy thing is that I knew your wife
Right.
before you even met her.
Right.
Like I was friends with his with my comadre from from way back.
Yeah.
And then Dania came to the picture maybe like 2 years after.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and I didn't even know until I think because like me and my comadre always had like that brother and sister relationship. So like when she was like having a boyfriend, like she never kind of like mentioned it to us
Mm-hmm.
until like later.
Yeah.
I think she kind of wanted to just make sure that you were the one. And then
I was that one, baby.
Yeah, and it was funny because in the beginning we didn't like each other.
They hated me.
Yeah, we
They all hated me.
Yeah,
The 45 fam hated me. I don't even know why.
I don't know why either. Stupid shit.
Culeros, güey.
Culeros.
Anyway, we're jumping out here.
Yeah.
So teenage life. Obviously, you get into some dilemma.
Yeah, deep.
Small,
with like
nothing crazy, right? Nothing major. You didn't.
Nothing major, man.
didn't,
It was
God
just
forbid,
it was
didn't-
just that gang life, man.
Yeah.
It's just like stupid things. Rivalry gangs that obviously we were just making. It was
Just making
stupid.
noise.
We're making noise. I was
Yeah.
just like going out there. I used to like rob people. Like
Yeah.
that was bad. I used to like anything that anyone, if anybody that we didn't know used to be in our block, you were gonna get stopped automatically.
Yeah.
And that was
Well, I remember,
Mhm.
like because I remember I know your neighborhood,
Yeah, yeah,
and I know there's turfs. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
a gang in like Bushwick. There's a gang in like Sunset.
it's a gang. In,
There's another in Fifth Ave.
correct.
This is
yeah.
all in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I could see how that can
Mm-hmm.
get very rocky if you guys encounter each other.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was really bad. And
Were you ever in any brawls?
a lot of brawls.
A lot of brawls, I'm sure.
They used to chase me
You
with
used to
machetes
chase
and
them?
stuff. We used to chase them.
Yeah.
Was
Was it always? I'm always curious to know.
Uh-huh.
Was it always with Mexicans beefing,
Of-
or did you ever like have any beef with black people, African American people,
Good question.
or Dominicans or Puerto Ricans? Because they
Yeah.
had their own squad too.
Unfortunately, it was Mexicans.
Yeah.
But you know what? When it came to like other cultures,
Yeah.
we had that too as well. It was more of a bonding there because it wasn't like we're fighting Mexicans versus Mexicans. It was more like, hey, we're fighting a different crowd. So it's like, yo, we gotta stick together.
Yeah.
But when it came to Mexicans, it was an unfortunate thing because like, at the end of the day, we're paisas. We're the
Yeah.
same,
I know.
it was
And
stupid.
The reason I asked that is because throughout, growing up, that's all I saw was just
Yeah.
people like Mexicans with Mexicans just
For
beefing with
no
each other.
reason.
And it's not just Mexicans; it's also like blacks and blacks,
Yeah.
Dominicans.
There was no reason why there was hate there. It was just because you were in the other rival gang.
yeah.
There's something
the
that
other side.
started years ago that other people did that we kinda
Doesn't even
just,
involve you.
we just inherited it. It
Unbelievable.
was stupid.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. To this day, I still,
You
but
know-
I still love my brothers.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? My brothers out there, I know they're still probably there. They're involved. I don't know how the gang life is, but I still get connected with my brothers that I've been there for when I was with that gang.
Yeah.
And they we live and learn, and we grew up. We're adults now,
Yeah.
and we understand. So I'm pretty sure a lot of them will agree with me. Like, hey, this shit was stupid. But at the end of the day, if I would have not joined, I would have not met them.
Right.
Which is like stupid, right? Just think about it, but
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, so you mentioned now we're adults.
Yeah, we're adults now. Man.
When did you you like snap out of it? You're like, fuck, okay, I gotta stop this fucking gang shit life.
Yeah.
Now I'm an adult. Now I gotta provide. Now I
Mhm.
gotta help my family, help my mom. When did that come about?
Well, believe it or not, I quit the gang out of my own, just me.
Okay.
Just because I felt like if I don't snap out of this, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you
Uh-huh.
by you saying you got out of the gang, right?
Mhm.
You know how they say sometimes you gotta get jumped out or you
Yeah.
gotta do something stupid to get out.
Yeah.
Did that come your way or not so much?
Thank the Lord, no, it didn't.
Thank God. I
We
was
had
hoping
a-
you said that.
We had a leader there that was a close friend of mine now, and he let me go just like that.
Yeah.
And shout out to him. He definitely he told me, yo, I respect that, and we still got your back.
Right.
So
The reason I asked that is because
Yeah.
a lot of gangs
Yeah.
they don't let that roll.
They don't let that roll,
it's
man.
blood in, blood out.
Yeah.
Literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
nah, we didn't live that like that. So that's respect to him because he could have done the other way, and he didn't.
Yeah.
he understood. I told him straight up. It wasn't like I hit it. And he was just like, yeah, no doubt. I left. My cousin left. Everyone left,
Yeah.
and we're
It's
still
like
cool.
everybody
Yeah,
went their own way.
Went their
and
own way.
We're tired of
that life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I left, but it wasn't something that I snapped out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I still, even when I moved to Queens, I still had that mentality,
Mm-hmm.
right? That gang, mentality. You know, I snapped out of it actually when I got out of it.
Right.
And it was the day, when I got stabbed in Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, like, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
Over nothing. Over my boy's girl was cheating on him. I found out.
You got upset.
And I got upset. And I riled it up, for no reason. It was just, like, really an anger thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I got stabbed for it.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, yo, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I... When you're getting stabbed in Christmas Eve, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Something, you know what I mean?
That's wild.
That's wild. And then my family to come on Christmas Day...
Yeah.
And crying and like in my bed and just thinking that I might die.
Yeah.
Like that was like, yo, it's like God telling me, like, if you don't snap out of it, bro, you're gonna like
get your shit together.
Get your shit together. And that's when I boom, it clicked. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned like you were angry about your boy.
Yeah.
The situation with your boy. Did you ever have any angry management issues? Were you angry growing up?
Yeah, angry. I was angry at
Sorry,
now,
I guess I'm backtracking now, but go ahead.
But it's true. Yeah, there was anger. It was angry in there. I don't know from where. It could be a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be something triggered from way back.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of anger management there, but I don't know how to hit it.
Yeah. Do you wish you could have seeked some help in terms of like professionally, like therapy and stuff?
If I want to be realistic in the way my life was, no, you couldn't.
No, you
because
couldn't.
you gotta understand that. Like my dad used to work every day.
You couldn't afford it.
And we couldn't afford it. And we didn't even know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're in the hood, man, you gotta live by all means. And you have to be that type of I like to call myself what's that animal? A chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
You have to I don't know what I was. I felt like I always live a double life. Like I understood this at a younger age. When I used to have my siblings, I used to react differently. I was more of a loving brother, loving son, and helping my mother out and things of that nature. That was my mentality. But when I went to the gang,
different human.
you gotta like change it.
Yeah.
You gotta change your look.
You gotta squat up.
Yeah, I don't know if someone taught me this, but it was like you gotta put that poker face on.
For sure.
Even when you were scared. In my heart, I was scared as hell, and I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
But if I
show
that, it's over.
You a bitch.
It's a bitch. That's it. Your life is done.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that.
Right.
So it was like that double life, man.
That's crazy. Okay, so you're out of the gang.
Oh, yeah.
You're out of the gang, and you're in your 20s now, I'm assuming.
I'm in my 20s. Still live with my parents, so don't judge me.
That's fine. Any challenges?
I was lost, bro.
Any challenges?
Challenges. That's just that. I was just lost. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was coming back from my injury, and my life was like hell. My mother was telling me like, yo, my mother used to have this word, yo, that is like stuck to me to this day.
What?
My mother, I love her so much. And she always
shout out to your mom.
Shout out to my mom, Florencia, yo, love her. She used to come, wakes me up from out of my bed, and just kind of looks at me and goes, "Ubícate, yo."
Ubícate, cabrón.
Ubícate, cabrón. Like la verdad, la estás cagando. Like,
ponte pilas, hijo. Chale.
Yo, ubícate. That
God
word.
Bless her,
that
man.
word, man. And yo, God bless her, man. All those slaps in my head, man.
Yeah.
Eventually, I snapped out of it. But yeah, I was lost, man. I didn't know what the hell to do. I was just really, really in a bad place. And then I remember going to Queens, and we went to the restaurant, and I met your sister-in-law there. Well, I already had known her. Your sister-in-law, Carmen.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. We mentioned her name, but my bad.
Yeah.
She has many names.
Yeah.
But anyway, I met her there, and because she was working there, and she was like really close with my father. And my father actually told me, hey, listen, I have somebody over there that wants to like meet you. I think that you guys will get along. She's going to the, to that rough, time in her life as well. That's what my dad said, but I don't know if it was true. But anyway, I went there. Told her she was mad cool, and that's how I met, your wife, and everybody else, and the whole crew. And long story short, I mentioned that I needed a job, and I think I don't know if Carmen was there or maybe your wife was there or anybody was there, but they heard it. And I think it got to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So eventually something happened that it got to the point where we met, and that's how it started.
You know what? This conversation is another episode that we should.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll talk about.
Yeah, we talk about it, but
how
I know-
how
I know
how you hated me. Unbelievable.
Well, in the beginning, no,
just
I
kidding.
mean, I'll be real. The reason why we just hated you was because it was like, hey, man, like, who the hell is this
Se
nigga?
cree.
We didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
So like
I'm a
everybody,
nice guy.
yeah, like everybody, like
Uh,
if we don't know you, then
Yeah.
we were just gonna say we're gonna talk shit.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Okay, so then you moved to Queens. You're fine. You're getting it together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you meet a group of friends,
Correct.
right?
I met
I
these-
mentioned where they were called. We call each other the 45 fam.
I met these friends through my cousin. I remember
Who was the first one that you met? I guess you don't have to say
Danny.
names. Danny.
Danny. His name is Danny.
Yeah.
I won't say his last name, but Danny was the first person I met. He
What up,
came-
Danny?
What up, Danny? So I went to Queens because my father said, "Hey, listen, they're looking for you in Brooklyn. It's a lot of things going." So, backtracking to what, with the criminal activity, there was a situation where, the police was involved and they were questioning me over something, and I just had to move.
Mi madre.
I know. So I moved and I was there for a couple of months, just with my aunt. And in those couple of months, I was able to meet my father's side of the family, and they were really so nice to me, and they were really, wanted to have this relationship with me, and I totally loved them for that. But that's how I met my cousin. And then when I met my cousin had some friends.
Yeah.
And then in that relationship, there was a guy, Danny, that I mentioned, used to come to the house because he used to connect with my godbrother. So it's connected also with my godbrother, because my godbrother is also kind of like part of the family.
Okay.
And they were kind of like a little clique. And they came in one time. They went to go see Franklin, which is my other cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Franklin. He loves our podcast. He's always bugging me that he wants to.
We'll bring him on.
He wants to come to the episode.
Season 2, baby, coming up.
Too is a little surprise there. Anyway, so I met Danny, funny guy. I mean, this guy is funny just by looking at him. Not to disrespect, but just the way his mannerisms and his pitches, and he's just the way
He's a good human being.
he's a good human being. I love Danny to death, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's a Met fan deep down below, but he doesn't want to admit it. Anyway, carry on.
Carry on, right? And then so I met him. Then I met. I already knew my godbrother, and then within my godbrother, I already knew one of my closest friends also that I have. I won't mention names, but you know him. You know. I call him by. Let's go by their tags. El Oso. You already know who he is. He's definitely something that someone that I grew up with and admire. And then that's how it started. Then everyone came along, and then the reason why we call ourselves the 45 fan was because we used to play in this street, right in 45th Street.
45th Street, yeah.
And that school, I forgot what the school's. Forgot.
I know what it. Yes,
But
I
it
know
was
what
in
you're
that
talking
park.
about. Yeah, in the back, right?
In the back, yeah.
Yeah.
And I used
Is
to
that
have,
where we used to play soccer?
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
night,
With the drinking beers?
drinking beers and all that.
Very nice.
Well, yeah, man, and I fell in love with them in a sense, like even
Yeah.
though they were younger than me, but they play sports.
Yeah.
I just got out of that gang life, and I
Yeah.
was just like, yo.
Well, it's
I
a
want-
different scenery. It's like
It's
you
different
mentioned.
scenery,
It's
yeah.
like when you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
You were, you were in the Bronx. You were playing
Mhm.
sports. You were very doing a lot of team
Yeah,
activity.
Correct, yeah.
And then come now in your mid-20s. I'm assuming
Around there, yeah.
somewhere. You meet these guys that are they're
Young,
hella
actually
cool.
20 already. I was
20,
20.
okay.
Yeah.
They're hella cool. They like to just hang out, not really do anything crazy, but like play sports and
Yeah, and they were young, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the youngest one were 14.
yeah. So
They
it's a
were
different environment. So
Different environment, yeah. So
I'm sure you liked it.
I liked it, and
You
they-
liked it.
and and they looked at me like an older brother. So
Yeah.
it was like I kind of felt like obligated to like my responsibility to.
I remember because I remember playing soccer as we
Mhm.
mentioned
Mhm.
in that back school,
Mhm.
and you used to drive us all the time. You had that minivan,
Minivan, yeah, my dad's minivan.
that green minivan.
Was it Nissan?
No, it was a Mercury or some shit, wasn't it?
Nah, it was the Quest.
Oh, the Quest. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's those good times. Good times.
It was
Great
great
times.
times, man. Great times. And then that's how we met, like, DJ Bless.
DJ Bless.
And we started promoting ourselves. Well, we
Yeah.
started promoting him,
Yeah.
as a DJ. So that was kind of like my music influence, I guess.
Yeah.
It started there, just helping the DJ.
Which was going to lead me to my next question.
Yeah.
So I know again when we met, we promoted a dance like a party together in Where the hell was it?
I think
Somewhere
it was in
Rosa-
Northern Boulevard, right?
Was it in Northern Boulevard?
Yeah, like a 103rd or 108 on there.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Oh, it wasn't in a Amerimix?
Oh, you're right. Could be
Because
that
there
one
was
too.
one there was two, but one was like super packed,
Oh no, that was in
like super packed.
and then it got really bad at the end.
yeah, and then was fucking
No,
bottles
that
being
was
thrown.
that was in Queens Boulevard. That's the Queens Bully.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. My question is like, what led you guys like, because I was a part of that too, but
Yeah,
what
yeah.
led us to like, what led you to get this promoting going?
My boy
Yeah.
Armando, I have mad love for him. Shout out to Armando, DJ Bless.
Yeah.
I mean, no need to shout his name. He puts his name out there.
Yeah.
But he just
Who's
love
got a nice restaurant in DC, by the way.
correct. Yeah, nice restaurant in DC, man. Go visit him.
What is it, Carlitos Way?
No, it
No,
was
okay.
no, it was we'll mention it later.
Yeah.
I
But he's doing well. Good
he's
for
doing
him.
well. He's doing
Family
well,
man.
man. Yeah, it was all for him.
Yeah.
Because he was the type of dude, man, religious type of guy, always a friend, always a brother, always helping out the fellow man. And so like, when you have that type of person like that, it's easy for you to help them. So, I actually do this for free. So
Right.
it was more like, what you need. And then so we started promoting. We were a lot of us. We just started hanging out flyers. We put them on
The walls
on
and
the
the
walls,
posts.
everywhere. And we was just really wanted him to blow up because
Yeah.
we felt like like everybody else. If he blows up, then we blow up,
yeah.
right? So
I remember that because I remember you guys putting me on, and then at the end of the night, I remember you guys giving me $200
yeah,
that night. I'm like, yo, these guys,
yeah,
I appreciate these guys.
yeah. We just wanted to just like
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun promoting. We promoted
yeah.
and we.
I had a good time.
We used to how you call it have a good time.
Echar
and-
desmadre,
and
güey.
echar desmadre and see the girls and come on, who doesn't want that?
Right.
That was just us.
Simpler times.
Simpler times.
Anyway,
That's
so
what I get thrown was like the
yeah,
golden. Yeah.
Golden Age,
Golden Age.
06,
Yeah,
right? Or
forget
something,
about it,
7,
bro.
something like that.
Forget about it.
Damn, we owe.
Yeah, we all.
We're gonna skip a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna jump into parenthood.
Parenthood.
and-
Ooh.
Parenthood and the meeting of your wife.
Yeah. Still kicking my ass. Yeah.
I'm sure. So tell us a little bit of how you guys met. And don't get this wrong.
2009. I still remember that year.
Where?
In Acapulco. Acapulco.
Fancy boy.
Yeah, 2009. We had me and my boys. We were planning just a guy vacation. It was that year when the Hangover came out. So we want to do that we were 4 of us.
Yeah.
4. We're gonna fucking wall out and just shout his madre.
That's amazing.
That's what we want to do in Mexico. That's all we wanted to do.
I love Mexico.
So we went to Mexico and we started with a bang. I remember we would start drinking, going to parties,
Getting fucked up.
waking up at 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon just to do it again.
Yeah.
But with all that, right? So a couple of the guys that I was with, are from the same pueblo,
Okay.
and our families know each other. So we all went there because there was actually a big party that was going to happen, a wedding, and we were going to be part of it, and it was supposed to be the biggest wedding in Tulcingo, and blah, 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 blah. And we're just like, yo, fuck it, let's go there, get some free fucking liquor.
Some food, some liquor,
boom,
vámonos.
yeah. The typical.
And
And with,
it's like a 4-hour drive from Acapulco.
well, we weren't in Acapulco at that time. We were in Puebla.
Oh,
So
okay,
we went
it's a
from
little
Puebla
deeper, yeah.
to Tulcingo.
Okay.
And then we were there for a couple of days, visit the family, yada, 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 go to
Got
some
it.
parties, because at that time also, Tulcingo have parties like every freaking day. Anyway, we got there, trying to move a little fast because it's a long story. So I go to that party, and, that's kind of like where I first saw my wife, just from a distance.
This one year.
Yeah, I saw her, and, I just... when they say, love at first sight?
That's what it was?
No. It was just like, damn.
Oh, you heard that, comadre?
No, it was like gorgeous at first sight. Like, she was just beautiful, man.
Oh,
like,
amazing.
it was just like my eyes. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
couldn't like stop looking at her. And
You
it's
like-
not love. It was just like, yo, I want her. You
Esa
know
va
what I
a ser
mean?
pa' Miguel.
Eso va a ser pa- Yeah, exactly. It was para Miguel, because I was like, o como dicen, esa tortita, pa' Miguel.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, man. So
Nice. So you guys met in Acapulco.
Yeah, we met in
And-
Acapulco because my cousin. So this was a thing. I told my cousin, "Hey, listen, we're gonna go to Acapulco, just the guys out, just to like wall out,
hang
blah
out.
blah, and then we come back." And all of a sudden, my cousin's like, "Oh, can we go?" I was like, nah. Yeah, I was kind of like, not really,
you know, I'm
because
trying to-
to just off guys. But she kind of like just ran with it and told her cousins,
she told the banda.
to the girls, and then that's the whole story. So instead of us being 4 of us, it ended up being like 25 of us.
Let's go.
We like a whole fucking crew went to Acapulco.
Classic Mexican party.
And
It's amazing.
One of the best times of my life.
Awesome.
We went in 2009 Acapulco. We went on a yacht. We started drinking. We had a party. We had reggaeton. We had food. We had amazing people over there. Amazing clubs over there. We used to be on the beach. And freaking, they used to throw bubbles in the air, and we were just like wilding out. It was a great time, and that's how I met my wife. My wife was just like that loud, crazy, but also fun to be with. So it's crazy.
It's gonna be my husband.
Yeah,
Nice.
type of thing. Yeah.
So you met your wife in Acapulco. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys been together for a long time.
How many years? Almost 15, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys become parents.
Yes, we became parents just right after like 2009. It went so fast.
Okay.
You know?
Take me through your first thoughts of when you found out you were going to be a dad.
So believe it or not, I wanted to be a dad.
Okay.
You know, I told her that, I wanted to be a father. I think I was going to lose her there. I think I creeped her out probably.
She was like, "What
she
the
was
fuck?
Like, what? Bye."
Like, I'll see you later. I got to go.
But I think I don't know. She just always kept coming back.
Nice.
And yeah, I really wanted a kid. I don't know why. I don't know why. It could be a lot of reasons. But anyway, yeah. When she told me she was pregnant, it's like I already knew it.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a surprise.
Well,
So,
no, I don't, but I could imagine.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is not surprising.
Right.
I felt that she was gonna be pregnant, and when she did, I was happy. I picked her up. I was happy. We were crying. We were excited. We were scared. All those emotions in one. Boom.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was good times. Yeah.
Nice.
I remember.
Challenging parts about being a dad. Oh, you haven't gone through anything yet?
No. There's a lot of them.
You're like, no, wait.
wait.
Let me.
Challenges of being a father.
Let me take a minute.
Your time.
Mm-hmm.
You
have to give them your time.
You got to give them your time. Man.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be here talking and saying that I was perfect. I wasn't.
Right. Well, you're not. You're not because you're.
Yeah, I'm still learning. But with my second child, and with my first and second, it was a little difficult for me because you want to give them the time, but you also got to be a provider,
right?
And you also got to be there for them and make sure that they get everything they need for school, for food, anything, all the essentials, right? So it was very difficult, man, in the beginning to kind of really understand what a father really is. But it was a blessing because at the same time, because my kids kind of like changed me. My son changed me in a sense where it's always good to like listen and observe and talk to them, communication. And then with my daughter, is that love.
Yeah,
that
father-daughter
connection is like no other, man. Fathers out there that know what I'm talking about. When you first see your daughter,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Take everything from you. You have everything from me.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want, you got it.
Yeah.
You got my heart. You got
Daddy's
everything.
little girl.
That's it.
Beautiful.
It's a different story, bro.
One lesson that you can teach your children that you did in the past, what would that lesson be? Or any lesson, for that matter.
Don't ever stop dreaming.
Beautiful.
Don't ever stop dreaming, and don't ever stop. Not going for your passion. Go for your passion.
Chase the dream.
Yeah, chase the dream. Chase your passion. Don't be mediocre. Don't be like the other rest. And I got to become a doctor or an accountant or this and that. No, man. Whatever you like, whatever you love to do, chase it, and don't let anybody say any different. Because if you do that, if you project other people's fears, then you lost. Yeah. So it's all about chasing your passion. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what I always tell my kids.
Beautiful. Shout out to them, by the way. I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, man. Older one is like working hard, kind of like in a sense resembling me in a sense like you don't know what the hell I'm doing, but He doesn't give up.
Yeah,
Keeps
yeah.
on,
Good, good.
keeps on striving. And then my daughter, man, is gonna go to a nice prestige school here in Queens, Frank Sinatra.
Nice.
So to pursue her passion, which is like acting and arts.
That's beautiful.
I can't wait
That's
for that.
amazing.
Yeah, good stuff.
Awesome. So now we're gonna jump into the workforce.
Yes.
Hospitality is what the industry that we are in. My friend,
Yes.
we work in hospitality, obviously.
Correct.
Do you love hospitality? And if you do, when did you fall in love with it?
I love it. I love it with all my heart. I think that it didn't first start like that. I fucking hated it. Honestly.
Yeah.
It was a love and hate relationship. But in the beginning, yeah, I used to hate it. I used to be like, what the hell? To be very transparent, it was just 1 year thing, and then I was gonna go, and that's it. Pursue other things. But within that, when I first started loving the hospitality, has to be when I went to Tabla.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I went to Tabla,
It
big
was
shout out. to-
Game changer, right?
Game changer there, man. It's like just the company, USAG and and all that. There was just really, really people that really care about
Showing people a good time.
good time and the food
And also the staff.
and the staff, man, especially the staff.
Especially
That's when
the
I
staff.
started to like really learn the business. I started to really focus. And like I always tell everybody that's gonna come into this building, to this industry, if you're gonna be in this industry for the long run, you gotta learn how to love it. Because if you don't, then I wouldn't recommend you this industry.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned to love it. I got a big shout outs to Miss Tracy Wilson. That was really one of my biggest influence because she really taught me the fundamentals part of the industry. But then there's other people out there that made me learn a lot about the hospitality and the love for the industry. So big shout out to everybody.
Yeah. What is your do you find it rewarding for you?
Absolutely.
Besides obviously making money, obviously
Oh yes, very rewarding. Very rewarding to change one person's experience. Is for me, I did my job. To have someone come into the restaurant, they come to the restaurant with a high expectations. So you got to make sure that you're up to that level. But I think if you put that personal touch, you know what I mean, and you give them that hospitality that they need, that they deserve, but with that element of realness, man, that's all you can ask, man. That when you change a person's experience and like the way they are, the way they felt like they were gonna expect to have service, and then you turn it to a whole different direction. It's mind-boggling, and that's how you start bringing those regulars to come into the restaurant and start kind of knowing your name. And yeah, I love building relationships. This is why I love this industry, because you talk to people, you network, and you build relationships.
You build relationships for sure.
For sure.
If you could give advice to somebody that wants to join our industry, but doesn't because of the long hours or whatever field, manager, back of the house, front of the house, what advice would you give to them?
If they don't want to?
If they want to.
If they want to, but
Yeah.
they don't want to.
But they don't want to, yeah.
You got to be very straightforward with them, and you got to tell them how it is. So my piece of advice for them is you have to learn how to love the game.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to love the industry. You have to have passion for it. If you don't have passion for it, then it's not for you. And as many times as you want to go into the business, you're going to fail. Because at the end, there's long hours.
Very long hours.
Very long hours. Understand that you're going to be with your work family more than your own family.
That's a fact.
All right? And you're going to have to understand that. And you're going to have to understand that there's going to be tears. There's going to be moments where you're not yourself. There's going to be moments where you're going to be pissed off. And then you're going to
want to walk out.
You're going to walk out. But if you love the game and you love the industry, you're going to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's it.
Oh, all right. So, keep that topic rather short.
Yeah.
Do you have any guilty pleasures or
Guilty pleasures?
Yeah. Or drink that you will never give up?
A drink that I'll never give up. Man.
Or food, either or.
Well, my guilty pleasure, or food-wise, is lasagna, man.
You'll never give up lasagna?
Everybody that knows me knows I love lasagna. I am the human form. I'm human Garfield. So if you put lasagna on my table, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
So don't put it. If you
Yeah.
really want that lasagna, just put it. Get it out of my sight, because I will destroy it.
I will crush it.
I will crush that lasagna, and I'll do it in your face if you let me.
If you can have dinner, you asked me this in the previous episode
Okay,
as well. If you can have dinner with 3 people dead or alive, who would it be?
3 people dead or alive.
Dinner, delicious dinner at Per Se
At per se,
or French Laundry, anywhere. Just naming names.
if I would have had like celebrities or just anybody.
Anybody, celebrities, family.
Well, I'll put you this. I put one celebrity, one personal, and then one like random, I guess.
Okay.
When it comes to celebrity, I would love to sit with my idol. I want to sit with Danny Meyer. I want to sit down with him,
Okay.
and I will sit down with him and eat dinner with him, just because I want to learn his mind frame, how he looks at the business. Even though I read the book, but just to sit down with him and just to kind of like see how he sees things.
Yeah.
Come on, the Shake Shack is revolutionary.
Mm.
So I would say with him. That's a celebrity type of person. Personal, man, with my wife. You know what? Believe it or not, me and my wife, we haven't gone to dinner on an expensive restaurant for so long, so many years. So I would love to sit down with her and like just forget that we have children for just 2 hours and just
have a nice glass of wine.
Have a nice glass of wine and just enjoy life. And then lastly, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson
I
from
would
Brooklyn.
like to say from Brooklyn. I would just say with Mike Tyson, not because of his boxing.
Yeah.
Man, the man had a life.
Yeah, he did.
A life. And
Still has a life.
Still has a life. But you know why I want to sit down with Mike Tyson? Because I want to learn how he persevered. The man was set up to lose
All the time.
all the time.
Every single until now. Even
Until now. And the man is still
going.
going. So
Shout out to Mike Tyson.
I like to say to Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Iron
for
Mike.
real.
If you ever hear this, want to come on the podcast,
Please.
we would love to have
I
you.
would love to have you.
All right. I think that's all I got, compadre.
Really?
You did great.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
it was fun.
It was fun to get interviewed.
Good
Yeah.
good conversation as always.
Always.
We're gonna do a En Caliente segment.
I love it.
It's a 2-part segment.
Okay.
With 2-part questions. One more sports related and the other one not so much.
All right. I'll try to answer it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
That way it could be,
Quick
that's
and
how it's
quick.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
En Caliente. Ready?
I almost got a
Go-to drink.
Negroni.
Favorite dish to eat
Lasagna.
or cook.
Lasagna.
If you could move to a city in a heartbeat, which would it be?
Italy. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I want to go to Japan. Which city is there?
Tokyo?
Tokyo,
Tokyo.
Japan. Yeah.
Biggest restaurant pet peeve.
86. No.
What's your biggest pet peeve in a
Pet peeve.
restaurant?
My biggest pet peeve is when they touch me in the back.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just stay behind.
Is there what's in your 3 things that's in your bucket list?
Going to Japan. That's one. Jumping out of a plane.
Oh
That's
wow.
2. And then 3, I want to go visit Italy as well. Just traveling for me.
Traveling, copy.
Mhm.
One cuisine that you could eat forever, what would it be?
Italian food.
Most embarrassing moment that happened to you on the floor.
I dropped 16 glasses,
Oh my-
champagne glasses in a strip house. Oh, God. That was the
Wow.
worst. Yeah.
I would have sent you home.
Yeah. And Mr. Francesco did, actually.
First concert you've ever been to?
Maná. Ooh.
Maná.
Pero no
Very
puedo. That's what it was. I think I fell in love with Maná that day. I went with my aunt. Shout out to my aunt Lorena for giving me the opportunity to go to Maná, because I was actually going to say, I actually said no to her. I don't
Why?
want, I didn't care.
Why would you say
I
no?
don't care about music.
What in the
And she was like,
hell?
"No, you're gonna like it." Da, 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 da. And she took me con fuerzas, and to that day,
Vámonos. God bless her. You see, she did a good thing
I
for
fell
you.
in love with Maná.
You should treat her out to dinner.
I should actually.
One skill you wish you could have.
One skill, cook.
You don't know how to cook?
Not like OD.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to learn how to cook.
All right, now we're jumping into the sports.
Go ahead. Love
We
it.
know your favorite team is the Yankees.
By law,
What's your favorite sport?
baseball.
Best game you've ever been to?
Oh, that's a good one.
You could say past.
No. It was around the 80s. I wasn't sure what year, but it was when Don Mattingly hit 2 home runs.
So watching Don Mattingly hit 2 home runs.
Yeah, I think it was Kansas City. I'm not so sure. It was the Yankees in Kansas City. Dude, at that time, Yankee Stadium was so empty. We were the worst team ever. And
Really?
and the Yankees, that's one of the days when we got Danny Tartabull, Mac Noakes, Pat Kelly. Yeah. I'm a real Yankee, by the way.
All-time favorite player.
You know, I'm gonna get you here because you think you know, but you don't. My favorite baseball player to this day will always be Ken Griffey Jr.
I love that man.
Not Derek
That
Jeter,
swing?
even though Derek Jeter's like there, but nah. I love the game of baseball because of Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. Copy. Would you rather hit a home run or pitch a perfect game?
Pitch a perfect game. That's hard.
Iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot dog or nachos?
Nachos,
If you could pick any position in the field, what would it be?
center field,
Home run or game saving catch?
game saving catch.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Favorite stadium to visit?
Favorite stage to
Any
visit?
sport.
I didn't visit a lot of stadiums, honestly, but I
You can
do.
whoever you
That I want to or that I've been already?
that you've gone to.
My wife's gonna kill me for this, but I like Citi Field. It's pretty cool. I'm not lie.
Favorite baseball movie?
For the love of the game.
Would you rather watch the game in the stands or in a luxury box?
In the stands.
Who was the last pitcher to pitch a perfect game for the New York Yankees? You know this.
David Cone.
No.
Yeah.
David Cone, no.
It had to.
Jorge Dominguez. Or something Dominguez.
Jorge Dominguez.
Somebody
Wasn't that a
Dominguez.
no-hitter?
No, it was a perfect game. 2003. I'm sorry, 2023.
Herman.
Herman
Yes,
Dominguez.
yes. Why did I not know that?
I
Actually,
know,
right.
you should've
Herman,
known.
I would have lost $1,000 there.
You would have.
Anyway.
Damn, I should have bet.
I know.
Anyway, my will.
Yes.
That was great.
Thank you,
You
man.
did great.
I appreciate
it.
it.
Was a phenomenal interview you did.
Great questions, man. Great in caliente too, by the way.
Thank you.
You actually put a lot
I
of
came
heart
prepared
into
because the previous
it.
episode 8 I wasn't prepared and I felt a little
Mhm. No, this was great.
shocked to myself.
Yeah.
This time I came prepared.
I try to answer as quickly as possible too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you to everybody as well listening. Who's gonna listen? Who will listen?
Yeah.
Whether you're driving, cooking, or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to kind of get to know us a little better.
Yeah, and there's plenty more.
Yeah, of course.
For sure, especially in the work field and other stuff too.
Yeah. But I
That
think
we didn't share, but I think we shared enough.
I think we're sharing enough, and obviously, as the seasons and years go by, you're gonna get to know us a little better. But I think this is kind of like the introduction moment and kind of leading us to season 2, which is gonna be some amazing season. I can't wait. We're gonna have a lot of surprises, a lot of things going on.
A lot of stuff. And you know what? Hopefully, we'll get some nice weather in season 2.
Yeah,
Because this weather's
not
cold. If you're in New York, you know the vibes.
It's supposed to leave already.
For the love of God.
We're in spring.
Yeah.
Easter's just around the corner.
Oh my God. But yeah, this wraps up season 1.
Mhm.
A small talk with Compa.
You want
My brother, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure doing this with
Yeah.
you. It's been great.
I'm excited for the next season.
I can't wait.
We're not gonna wait too long. We're just gonna get, hopefully the nice weather comes in and
Yeah.
get some. Like I said, we have some surprises coming up.
We're gonna get situated. We got things that are moving, and again, like my compadre said, the weather has to has to get a little better because
And there's a reason why we mentioned the weather.
Yeah, you'll see why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome. So I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah,
It takes us out.
I guess we should say thank you to the listeners as well. Thank you guys for embracing this journey, and we have a lot more coming up.
Like, subscribe, follow.
Respect.